Got a little bit too much dip on your chip there, boy. A little bit too much. All right, welcome back. This is another episode of Streams. Hopefully this is a shorter one because I don't got too much to say. I wanted to do a short episode about LaRussell and his current woes with the in media because he decided to say some off-the-wall things that didn't really go over as he thought that they would. So let's just get to the clip. For those of you who don't know, LaRussell is an artist from the Bay Area. He's from Northern California. He's an independent artist. He's been doing music for, well, at least in the public eye. I don't know how long he's been doing music, but he's been kind of popular for the last like 4 or 5 years, something like that. And it's been building steadily. He's been gaining popularity. He does these things where he gets in the backyard of his own house and he throws these concerts where he have special guests and he live streams, or I don't know if he's live streaming them, but he's recording them and posting them and stuff like that. And it's pretty good content, making pretty good music. He's not the best rapper in the world, but he makes very energetic, inspirational, sort of like it energizes you. It electrifies you watching him sort of, I don't know, connect with his audience. That's his strong suit as an artist. He connects with his people very well.
Get off me or wipe me down. Ooh! Turn him up. Huh. Get off me or wipe me down. I'm saucy. Get off me or wipe me down.
Just recently, he got signed to Rock Nation, and I don't know what the particulars of that deal are. I don't know if it's through management or if it's an actual record deal or if it's distribution. I can't quite remember. I want to say it's a distribution deal, but either way, he's touted himself as being an independent artist, and he's direct to consumer all the way. You know, he invites fans to his home. He sells tickets, and it's almost like Proud to Pay, like Nipsey Hussle, where fans can pay what they weigh. You know, they can pay what they weigh. If you come from an impoverished neighborhood and you ain't really got it like that, he'll let you pay $1. If you got it like that, he charge you $100 for the ticket. But he connects with his people and he treats his people fairly. In one of his episodes, one of his performances, he decided to perform this song here.
I made this record and I sent it off to my engineer, and he calls me. He said, "Man, you probably shouldn't put this out." I said, "Why? What the hell happened?" He said, you talking about Epstein, it's a lot of shit going on. And I said, "Thank you for calling me. I'm finna drop this." That's exactly why we need it. Because everybody sit and be silent. And the goal of an artist is to express the times and say all the things that nobody else want to say or know how to say. I'm not perfect. And neither is the president. Was guiltier than a nigga hiding evidence. You can't be mad that they heated if you don't let them vent. Even the devil was heaven sent. Even Malcolm was heaven sent. Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent. We all heaven sent. Donald too. We all heaven sent. Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent. Even you. We all heaven sent.
Hey, it's funny because it almost sounded like when he said Adolf too, it sounded like the pianist messed up.
Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent. Even
the pianist hit the wrong note in that chord. It still sounded good, I guess, but he fucked up. It was like the pianist was like, "What the fuck?" He hit the wrong note, man. I never noticed that until just now. Look, man, this nigga chose a hell of a time to come out and say some shit like this. I understand the sentiment. And just like I said, it's like a motherfucker think just because you saying some shit over the piano that like it's beautiful or it's deep or like you gonna get away with what you saying. My nigga, chill, bro. Like, this is the second time that he's gone viral in 2 months, a month and a half since he signed to Rock Nation. And the first time it was more so like it made sense because it was more like hip hop related. Right? He said the thing about Lil Wayne and how Lil Wayne really hasn't talked about anything in his career. And he talked about how you know, he kind of regretted being such a big fan of, or he had to reevaluate his love for Lil Wayne's music because he said that looking back as an adult, it didn't really seem like Lil Wayne was really talking about too much. And like I've been saying that. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm a fan of Lil Wayne, but I'm a fan of the Lil Wayne that y'all not really hip to. Like, I was a fan of Lil Wayne in Cash Money era. It was like Carter 1, Carter 2. I started tapering off. I didn't really care about Lil Wayne like that no more because he was so different, especially after Carter 2 or whatever. Like, he was way different than he was when he was young. To me, he kind of went industry in a way that he almost shed his New Orleans sound. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really fuck with Wayne for very much longer after that era. But my favorite Lil Wayne is Block is Hot, Cash Money, Hot Boys, that whole era from like 97 to like 2002 or whatever. That was my favorite Wayne. And of course, he got some joints that's like some of my favorite shits, but I'm saying overall, so I was rocking with LaRussell saying that. I wasn't really hip to Lil Wayne. I wasn't really into him like that. But he went viral for that, and he ended up having to defend himself for that, and almost, if I remember correctly, almost kind of apologizing to Wayne, sort of just trying to clean it up a little bit. And then I seen people saying that Wayne would probably even agree with LaRussell because Wayne even said, nigga, I was high making all that music. I don't remember shit I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But, that's cool. He went viral. That was pretty good timing, too. It was right. It was literally like the day after he announced being signed, I think, or something like that. It was real soon afterwards. So it drummed up some controversy and got his name out there in the headlines and publications. People was making reaction videos left and right. So it's kind of like, in this day and age, that's the sort of social currency you want when you're getting signed. You want to be visible. You want to be talked about, even if it's for the wrong reason, right? So I bet Rock Nation was looking at that like, now, okay, maybe this motherfucker know what he's doing because he found a way to drum up some sort of, some sort of spectacle about himself. Maybe this nigga know what he's doing, and then you fast forward probably about another month or two or however long it's been since that happened. And this nigga decides to do this. And I understand the sentiment. I truly do. He's trying to say that we're all from the heavens, good and bad, which is actually true. The Bible will tell you that that's true. It's like it all stems from the same place. Satan and the serpent and all of that stuff. If God is the creator of all things, then God is the creator of good and bad. It's like the saying from the Batman, the Superman versus Batman movie or whatever, where Lex Luthor is like, either God is all powerful or he isn't. I'm probably butchering the saying, but he's like, he's either all powerful or he isn't. If he's all powerful, then he is not all good because essentially he has the power to stop evil, but he doesn't stop evil. Then it's like he's either all good and not all powerful, which means that he has the desire to stop evil, but he just doesn't have the ability to stop evil. So, and my belief is, I think things are way more complicated and not as black and white as that. But still, that's a very powerful saying in terms of like how you can look at how these things came to be. If God is the creator of everything that we see and experience, then God is also the creator of good and bad.
Because God is tribal. God takes sides. No man in the sky intervened when I was a boy to deliver me from daddy's fist and abominations. I figured out way back. If God is all powerful, he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, then he cannot be all powerful. And neither can you be.
I don't know how else you can look at it. It's like we want to blame the devil for things that are bad, and then we just give God all the credit for things that are good. I think faith. I think the texture of this reality is much more complex and complicated than that. It's like everybody wants to frame it as this good guy versus bad guy narrative because we talk about devils and Satan and God, but if there is one true creator who is responsible for everything, how do you then turn around and say that he is not powerful enough to stop the devil, quote unquote, from what he's doing? If God is omnipotent and omnipresent and, capable of all things and the creator of this realm and everything in it, then God also has to be responsible for the evil that is within it as well. I don't know how you can escape that logic. If you got a counter argument, then feel free. But that's what LaRussell is essentially trying to say. It sounds like he's trying to say that, we have to accept this shit for what it is almost, which I don't agree with. Like, just because God created things doesn't mean that we have to be in agreement with it or that we have to pretend like it isn't wrong or immoral or whatever. Like he said, Jeffrey Epstein, Adolf Hitler, and he said Kanye, which is wild to put that name next to those two people. But he wasn't necessarily trying to compare him to those two people because he even said himself, he said a lot of things. We're all heaven sent. Donald Trump, Now, I don't know his overall point. Like, what are you trying to say? What are you telling us to do with this information? I don't know. But like, I don't think he's wrong. Everybody is heaven sent, right? I do believe there's a difference, some sort of distinction between good and evil. But I think God is not given enough credit. I think all of this is intentionally designed this way for whatever reason the creator deemed fit. I am not a creator. I am not the creator, rather. I am a creator, but I'm not the creator. I cannot tell you what this life is about and why things are the way that they are. It's like I'm reading these passages from the Bible and I'm hearing these stories about Sodom and Gomorrah and all of these things that are going on that are against his wishes. And it makes you wonder, how is anything happening against your wishes? This is your reality. Now, the answer to that, in short, is that we were all given free will. And then in the New Testament, it comes down to Jesus essentially wiping our sins clean and him dying for our sins and feeling all of the things that we felt, good and bad, in his lifetime and all of that stuff, right? And the greatest gift that God gave to all of us is the ability to choose your own path and practice free will. Great. So I would imagine that is how good and evil came to be, because if you could choose all good things and if you have free will, then you should also be able to choose the things on the opposite end of that spectrum, which would be bad things, evil things, right? But again, God is the one that created the conditions for this to happen. You cannot argue that fact, buddy. Or if you do try, it would be a really hard time. But I'm open to discussion. I'm open to be wrong. Quote unquote. We're all here for the first time. We don't know what we're doing. I don't know what's going on. I was just brought here against my will, as far as I know, right? But I just think it's really odd that he would do this at a time where it just doesn't make too much sense for his situation. Like, why would you want to sort of destroy your, why would you want to destroy your, I don't know how to say this. It's like you want to destroy your image for the sake of some bullshit like this, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to destroy your image for the sake of this song that your engineer told you not to put out? If I was his engineer, I probably would have said the same thing. Like, bro, I don't know if you want to say that. You just signed to Rock Nation. The world is watching you more than they ever have before. And you about to get on the stage and almost sound like you're about to empathize and sympathize with, you know, people who have committed atrocities of all sorts. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what niggas be thinking, man. Just because somebody playing the piano behind you doesn't mean that it's your turn to just say something wild, my nigga. Like, so then I get on the internet. So I was preparing for this video, and I had this video saved that I was going to play in this clip. Well, it was actually the video that I just played before this, right? But it was actually on his page that I got it from. And the caption was, "I lost a brand deal because of this." And it was that video playing in the background of the caption. Right? But then I got on and I was looking through my saved stuff and I'm like, it's not here anymore. What happened to it? I know I saved it. And then lo and behold, the nigga done deleted his social media because of the backlash. Jesus. And that's why I couldn't find the post. So I never would have pegged him for doing something like this, but I would imagine that the heat got a little too hot for his ass. And he like, yeah, I'm taking a break. Like, he's the type of person that is probably a little grounded. So he like, man, let me just get off this shit and get my head out of this game called social media and focus on something a little more real. And you know, whatever. But to me, I think this is going to put a bad taste in people's mouths about this guy unnecessarily, because this was totally avoidable. And it does not help his brand at all. And to me, it almost seems like he's doing and saying things intentionally right now. I don't know this nigga. I've been following him for some years. But this kind of makes him seem a little like what is it? Provocateur. You know, I don't like people like that because it's disingenuous. You're doing it for an end goal, and the end goal usually is something that, you know, or the methods rather are like something that really don't even align with your spirit and your personality. Why are you doing this? Shut up, bro. I'm going to play this last video that I thought was pretty funny before I go ahead and ultimately end this episode, brother. This nigga, Justin, what's his name?
Even Kanye was heaven sent. Even the devil was heaven sent. Donald too. Epstein too. Adolf too. Even you. We all heaven sent.
Don't point at me, not my heaven.
You proud of yourself?
See, he threw Jay-Z in there because Jay-Z just signed him and all that. And that's Justin Richburg, who did the animation, who I've actually worked with before. And this nigga always jump on some sort of pop culture event and does his interpretation of it in the form of an animation like this. But he put the fire.
Even Kanye was heaven sent. Even
that nigga put Kanye and the clouds in the back, and then he put the devil
the
in
devil was heaven sent. Donald too. Epstein too. Adolf too. Even you.
Oh man, what the fuck was he thinking, bro? I don't think this is something that he won't bounce back from. You can bounce back from this shit. It ain't that big of a deal, but this is pretty stupid. And I feel like he pissed a lot of people off with this. And ultimately what will happen is he will come out elaborate and explain himself and apologize. He lost brand deals, and I already know who that means. Who he pissed off with that. And I'm pretty sure it's because of that last guy that he mentioned. But I don't blame them. Even with the stances that I have politically and my opinions and shit, or religiously even, like, I would understand why somebody would want to pull the rug on his ass for saying this stupid ass unnecessary bullshit, man. What? Just shut up, bro. Like, everything don't have to be, you don't have to toe the line every time you say something. God damn, just make music, gang. Listen, bro, that's it, man. I just wanted to talk about this shit real quick. I appreciate you, man. Hit that like and the subscribe and all that bullshit for me. I would really appreciate that. And y'all been turning up, niggas been watching these videos, so it is what it is. I'll let y'all, man.